What's the brokest thing you've ever done? I once faked knowing dead people just to get free funeral food and somehow walked away with a job offer. Back in college, I hit a stretch of rock bottom that still makes me cringe. I just lost my job at Walmart, rent was coming up fast, and the gas light in my car had been on so long it basically became a part of the dashboard. I was living off dollar store ramen, telling my roommates I was trying intermittent fasting just to hide how broke I was. I applied for every job in town, even walked to a few places just to ask in person. Nothing. No callbacks, no interviews. It got to the point where I stopped thinking about thriving and just focused on surviving. One afternoon, I passed by a funeral home a few blocks from my place. Cars everywhere, people dressed in black, soft music playing through the open doors. I remembered something my grandma used to say: funerals feed the soul and the stomach. And that's when the broke part of my brain kicked in. I figured, what if I just slipped in? I didn't have to talk to anyone. Just dress nice, keep my head down, maybe learn a name from the obituary. One plate of food, in and out. That night, I looked up another service in the local paper. Found a guy named Harold who used to be a mechanic. And the next day, I showed up like I'd known him my whole life. It actually worked. I sat in the back, nodded along during the speeches, even muttered a quiet, "He was a good man," to someone near me. After the service, I followed the crowd to the repass, grabbed a paper plate, loaded up on fried chicken and mac and cheese, and left without a single question. I couldn't believe it. It felt messed up, yeah, but I was starving, broke, and desperate. That week, I hit up 2 more funerals. I always made sure to read the obituary, memorize a couple of details, wear the same black shirt. I told myself it was harmless. I wasn't crashing weddings or stealing tips. I was just trying to eat. But then one afternoon, I walked into a funeral and immediately felt something was off. No crowd, no cars, just me, 2 bored-looking staff members, and an empty chapel with 1 casket up front. I stayed, not wanting to look suspicious. Sat through the whole service in silence. When they loaded the casket for burial, I followed along. It was just me and the funeral director standing at the gravesite. He looked at me for a while, then said, "You don't know this guy, do you?" I froze, thought about lying again, but something in me cracked. I admitted everything, told him I'd been showing up for the food because I had nothing else. I expected him to call me out, maybe even report me. Instead, he just shook his head and said, "I guess you don't just come for the food, huh?" And then he did the last thing I expected. He offered me a job. Said they needed a part-time receptionist. Someone to answer phones, clean up, keep things moving during slow hours. I didn't even hesitate, took the job on the spot. Within weeks, I had gas in the tank, food in the fridge, and a paycheck that let me breathe again. I never faked another funeral after that. I didn't have to. That one moment of shame turned into a lifeline. Looking back, I still feel weird about it. I don't tell many people. It's not something I'm proud of. But when you're broke, like really clawing through the bottom broke, your survival brain makes some wild choices. I don't condone what I did, but I also don't regret it.